S&P futures are down 0.5% as investors take profits ahead of U.S. housing and consumer confidence numbers due out today. European markets, though, gain 0.5% after Italian Prime Minister Berlusconi agrees to overhaul his $66 billion austerity plan. And Universal Display, ticker PANL, is up 9% on news of a licensing deal with Panasonic. We'll have the trade. I'm Alex Steele, and the morning call starts right now.
Good morning.
Good morning, Evan. Good morning. I'm Alex from The Street, and we're going to bring you the morning call. Evan, it's great to be here. I know you're subbing in for Scott. He's stranded somewhere in Vermont, but we are going to take the reins of the trading day today and tell you what to do. And I want to start off with the markets because we get a big rally on Monday, but then we have futures pointing down on Tuesday. So where does that leave us? Was Monday kind of a relief rally and now we're back to normal? Or is today kind of profit taking before that next leg higher?
Well, I think this week we got to really be concerned with the fact that it is the end of the month. We're going to take a look in a second at the S&Ps. It has not been a good month overall in the markets. We are closing relatively stronger, at least it appears that way, from last week into this week. Why don't we take a look here at the S&Ps so we can discuss. Again, the monthly chart I think is something we need to start with here, because the monthly chart here on the right, you see what was a very, very large, somewhat disastrous candlestick at one point. We are now, 2 days left in the month. We've seen a nice tailback up. Buyers have stepped back in, pushing this a little bit higher, making this action somewhat constructive. Let's take a look at the daily. We can see yesterday, from Friday into Monday's trade, we saw a nice move in the S&Ps from roughly 1130, closing yesterday just above 1200. That's about, a 60-70 handle move in the S&Ps, taking out this prior little pivot. I think the market can go higher. I think we can see back to the 1250 area in time. That being said, the market is still in a chaotic mode right here.
I was going to mention it. Is that a double bottom that we're seeing?
Well, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a double bottom. We'll only know that with time. Right now, we have constructive action. We saw some really impulsive selling. That selling is trying to find its footing. The last 2 days, again, buyers stepping in. And I think in the near term, we could see somewhat higher. That being said, I do think it is chaotic. You're seeing big green bars into big red bars into big green bars, and the action's starting to zigzag. It does make it a little more complicated.
So then when you see futures pointing to a lower open, would you be looking to sort of add to some positions on that or look for specific trades to kind of avoid the market in general?
I think the market right now is best left for the short-term players only. The day traders, the guys that have time horizons of 1 to 3 days. If you're really past that time horizon, it's probably going to be a difficult, treacherous, back and forth type of trade. And I think, like I said, with time, we'll have a little bit more data to make sure the waters are safer.
I just want to point out a note that I read yesterday from Stan Stovall, who's the chief investment strategist at S&P, sent out a note saying that September is the worst performing month out of all the 12, and on average since 1945, markets have fallen 0.5% versus the rest, which is nearly a gain of 0.7%. So I would wonder that even if we do see some kind of counter trend rally in the short term, if longer term, September is going to be rough.
Well, I think we'll find out. I mean, there's nothing conventional about this tape, and I think historical data is great, but this market is not your grandfather's market, and I think that you can't really look at September and say, well, historically it's been this, so it will be this. Let's just wait and see what the tape gives us.